I want to talk about creating textures. These will be textures for a mouth. The first, a mouth talking, and the two basic parts are the area surrounding the mouth, the lips. Well, three basic parts: the teeth, the lips, and the tongue. This is the material, the sandwich of colors that I put together in order to sandwich the lips. I put these together and then put them through a pasta grinder. They come out much thinner, and then I put once I've put that through, then I'll put a piece of red and put it through the pasta grinder again, because then it becomes a ratio of 1 part red to 4 colors. It's kind of like, if you were to look at it side on, it's about this much red. It's 1 part red to 1/4 each. Well, it's half a part, 50% red, and then a smaller fraction each of pink and kidney and light pink, and then magenta and these other colors. And when you put both of these through the pasta grinder separately, they come out as 2 even sheets, and then you put them back together through, and they come out like this, which is a super thin sheet. You've compressed it down through the pasta grinder to be this thin. Then I'll put it all at an angle, and I'll stack these up like as a put these together, and then sandwich these thin things together, and then they'll eventually, as you can see, go at an angle. Oh, looks like I did it one more time. These are too thick, so once I put 2 of these together, I'll take them through the grinder one more time, and then they'll get really super skinny. It'll be a double batch of super skinny. So here, let me show you. It'll go from this thick, and then it'll go through the grinder, through the pasta grinder, and be about that thick the last time around. And once it's this thick, then I can stack it as a series of sandwiches and then put it at an angle, and that's how I create this texture, which is an animated. This will be the lips, and so I'm going to cut slices of this texture and cut it all the way through, and that will form the lip that is the part of the mouth that's talking. The second pattern, of course, is the teeth. The teeth are made in a very similar way, only I'm using these colors, which is sort of different forms of green and mint and off-white stacked together. And I put them through the grinder, and I also do a sort of a 1 to 50% to various 10% or 20% of these other colors. I'm trying to get a 1-to-1 where the white is 1 and the bright white is 1, and the mint and the green, the black is or the dark green is 1 all together. And when you put that through the grinder, it comes out very, very skinny like this. This is animated teeth, and this is straight teeth. There's 2 different ways to actually use teeth and mouth, lips. If I were to have non-animated lips, I would use the animated teeth, and if I had animated lips like this, these would go together, because one pattern moving, if you get both patterns moving, it gets pretty chaotic. So you want something to be stable, so I would keep the teeth stable while I make the lips, this pattern, move with the animation. Or I would make the teeth move and then do a different pattern for the lips that would be stable. It would be more like this, only skinnier, and it would be straight though. The key is that I would create an entire texture block that's straight. Alright, the last element is the tongue, and I like to make a tongue out of 2 strips of white. This is sort of a double pigs in a blanket idea, and you want to roll the 2 pieces of white toward each other and then envelop it with a bit of black. Here, I'm going to try to get it to, yeah, that's a little bit better. I think I'll put a little, just a tiny bit more red on this side. It doesn't look like I had quite a broad enough red stripe to start with. So here I go. Now this is the black that will go through the middle of the tongue, and it will wrap all the way around the back side, going all the way through the middle. Oh, wait a second. Before I do that, I think I have a different idea. I want to add a little highlight to this particular tongue. I think that this is a very thin sheet of white and red, and all this is going to cause is or create is a little bit of a sort of, I'm trying to make sort of saliva or a sense of wetness on the tongue. So I've just done sort of a circle and then a semicircle highlight. I'm going to go back in, put the black in now. This is the divider of the tongue. This is what separates it into two parts, left hemisphere or right hemisphere. And I think I'll put this on this side, cover it all the way. Cut the excess off. Don't need this. It's gone. Don't need this. Okay. So I don't know that that'll be what I hoped it to be, but the idea was that that's two white dots on the tongue, and these are the highlights on it. I'd have to extrude this tongue out a great deal to be much, much smaller than it is. Now that I see it, I think a better strategy would be, or a different strategy, I should say, that might yield a less confusing. I'm a little worried that these 2 pieces of white are too close together. So, yeah, this is one way to fix it. Let's just add a little more separation. And again, this might be too complicated, but at least it solves the 2 pieces of white, what they're supposed to do. That's a little better. Even better than that would be, and again, I'm just trying to get a defined shape that actually makes sense, is to do a little wedge of clay right there. And this makes sure that it's a sort of a V shape of black coming up that divides the tongue to be a little less. So that's probably okay. You could actually use it this direction, and it might actually work better as a tongue. It's sort of a Rolling Stones logo. Again, this would have to be extruded by hand, pulled and kneaded and extruded to be very small. And then I can put the teeth around it. I can add a little bit of black inside. I put the lips around that by cutting them up. And this will be distorted in and out. But that's how you create the basic textures that allow you to do the next step, which is the actual talking mouth.